We've got new details this morning on a drowning out of the East Valley. This was from a case back in May. Police have now recommended Brady Kiser, the father of the victim, be prosecuted. Exact details on why the father could in fact face charges are not entirely clear just yet. But he is the husband of Emily Kiser. If that name rings a bell to you, she's a very popular TikToker known for posting about her family. Their son Trigg was pulled from the backyard pool near Chandler Heights and Gilbert Roads. Detectives say Brady told them he was distracted with the baby. They have another child. Well, Emily had been out with friends at the time. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office will review the case to determine prosecution now. So joining us in studio to break down this type of cases is attorney Josh Kolsrud. Josh, good morning, and it's nice to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Nice to see you too.
You know, unfortunately, I feel like when we see these cases in the Valley, but it's very rare, I feel like, when we say that they're looking at possible charges.
It is rare, but this case has garnered a lot of attention. Now, last year, according to government statistics, there were 20 fatality infant drownings in Arizona. So this is unique. And what makes it unique as well is that, you know, it involves a social media influencer and her husband. And so the police are really taking a close look at what happened.
So what are some of the things that they may in fact look at? You know, other types of video or other types of evidence that they may consider?
So in this case, we know a few things. Number one, that Brady, the father, you know, he had custody of the two children while his wife Emily was out that night. And what happened was Trigg had access to the pool area, and the father was distracted for 3 or 5 minutes. And the question for prosecutors is going to be whether or not that distraction was reasonable under the circumstances, given the result. And what they're going to look at is whether or not there was any prior incidents where Brady had left the children unattended near an open pool. And when you're a social media influencer and you have cameras in the backyard and all over the house, police detectives are going to have a lot of access to be able to answer that question for prosecutors. Another thing that they're going to be looking at is whether or not Brady's statements to the police that night are consistent with what the surveillance footage says. If they're not consistent, you know, that's going to give prosecutors pause about saying, you know, was this a tragic accident or was this more criminal negligence?
You know, you mentioned the surveillance video. Can they also subpoena video from the phones, like, you know, or text messages or things like that?
Absolutely. So I have no doubt that the Chandler Police Department is scouring through both Brady's phones and Emily's phones to see the communication between the two after this tragic incident occurred. Because when someone makes a statement right after a tragic incident, it has an air of truth, because you're not thinking about, is this statement going to hurt me in the future? You're trying to figure out what to do in an emergency circumstance.
And I think any way you look at it, it's just a heartbreaking story when you think about it, that this young boy lost his life.
It's so horrible. And, you know, what I don't like about this case right now is that the Chandler Police Department is trying the case in the media before the Maricopa County Attorney's Office has even made a charging decision. Because just think, like, if the Maricopa County Attorney's Office does not charge the case, you know, they've already kind of dragged these two people's names through the mud unnecessarily.
So true. Josh, I know you're a busy guy. Thank you for fitting us in your schedule today.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.